Listen to me. I'm gonna get off the phone right now, and I am gonna let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what, no matter what nobody said.
And his reaction when those people
went away.
Got in
the car and said, I feel like I need to wash, like I'm dirt. That was, it show you his character.
Was that the reason for including it?
Yeah, I mean, what's the odds that you would do that in front of the camera? Like that's one of the moments where he forgot he was on tape.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I've been holding a lot of shit in lately. Man, I just had like a 3.5 hour cry.
Yeah, this true inspiration. Me being with my brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Hey yo, we here. We the neighborhood association now.
You better believe it.
You better believe it.
The board.
I'm proud of my brother, for real. I was saying like how he had the car show, he pulled up on me.
Pulled it off.
And I got to use his products, and we was like, you know, let's have an act of love, because washing the car, most hustlers don't wash a car.
A
lot of cats got ego.
A lot of times you feel like you too big for
Yeah, they got shame in their game. We don't have no shame in our game. We gonna get to this money. We gonna wash the car. We gonna go door to door. Ain't nothing stopping this. Ain't nothing stopping this. We wash your car for you.
We wash your car.
We wash your car with no shame in our hustle.
Even when you goddamn getting into that wash, and you know that tip gonna be good, like if you seen goddamn Miss Country.
Y'all better stop buying this slippery soap, man. Pour it on there, and then I just got it. Yeah. No.
The hip-hop landscape shifted without warning when 50 Cent released audio that instantly put Rick Ross on notice, making it clear this wasn't a routine back and forth, but a calculated display of control and foresight. There was no need for theatrics or empty provocation. He simply revealed the material and let each line hit with purpose as the industry watched in quiet disbelief. Executives, artists, and fans alike understood the difference immediately. This wasn't chaos. It was strategy in motion. In that moment, the real meaning of power came into focus. Not volume or spectacle, but timing so precise it strikes suddenly and leaves a lasting impression before anyone can react.
I kind of wanted to touch on some old school stuff that I've seen you talk about before, man.
Do it, bro.
You know, I had seen that, you know, you kind of knew 50 Cent before he blew up.
Yeah.
What was that like?
50 was the type of dude that kept like a little, he kept like a little pad with him. And he wrote everything down. You understand? Me and him caught the plane. We was going to Vegas. And I gave him my card. My business card was savoir-faire, security management, and everywhere. You know what I mean? So 50 did a song about that. You know what I'm saying? And he put that in the song. And some years about a year or so ago, not even a year or so ago, he said that when he dropped my name, he said, yo, I got the savoir-faire, I got that from Big Gene. He been trying to tell y'all about this years ago. But 50 was the type of dude that if you knew he was with you, he was with you. Even back then, he had your back whether you was security or whatever you did. If he was with you, he was with you. And that's what you gotta love about him. You know what I mean? You ain't gotta question his loyalty, you know what I'm saying, on some fight shit or if you in a situation. Cause he going out.
Well, I guess you were hanging around him or knew him, right before he got shot.
Well, what happened was that I had got some information. 50 came to my house. I tried to fit him on a vest, but I'm like, at the time I was like a and 50 was like a large, you know what I'm saying? So he couldn't really fit the vest, but I gave him a cover to try to tell him, because he had some pads, some vest pads. So I just told him what the situation was that I knew. and told him he had to watch himself because those cats was gonna come at him. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah. And he was supposed to be going to Cancun. And I told him, if you come to Cancun, I got you, because I used to be down there doing security at Daddy-O's. You understand? And I had people down there that I had knew that was from Puerto Rico, and they was working down there, so they should make sure when I hit the island, anything and everything I needed, I could get it right there on the island. You understand? They worked directly with the syndicate. So 50 was supposed to come down there to do a show, and he didn't make it because they had shot him up. I don't know if he was coming in the first place, but he was supposed to, because he was paid half the money to come down there to perform How to Rob an Industry Cat.
And when was the next time you seen him after that?
The next time I seen 50 after that was at Jack the Rapper. He had blew up. He had blew up, man. He was like, you know, he was this dude and everything like that. And I was sitting in we was in Puerto Rico, and I was sitting by myself, just chilling, and he had his whole entourage with him. He came directly over to me. He like, yo, Gene. I was like, yo, what up, Fit? I said, what up, 50? He said, what's up, man? He said, yo, put his hand out to me, and grabbed my hand. He said, yo, they can't stop what God got planned. Went on about his business. And then he blew up crazy.
What seemed abrupt to the outside world was actually the payoff of a plan set in motion years earlier, stretching back to the period when Ross took shots at 50 during the Officer Ricky phase, assuming the issue was buried and no longer relevant. As Ross focused on expanding his brand and refining his public image, 50 stepped back deliberately, staying quiet while monitoring subtle digital cues that suggested the chapter was never truly closed. The eventual release of the recordings made one thing unmistakably clear. In battles defined by leverage and influence, restraint beats showmanship every time. Real authority isn't exercised through constant noise, but through discipline, the ability to observe patiently, identify weakness, and move decisively, proving that true dominance lies in strategy, anticipation, and striking at the exact moment needed to completely rewrite the narrative.
He did the music, he had the bad boy legacy and everything like that, man. But, you know, a few albums, a few people, you know, made to be famous, but they not here to tell their story. Black Rob, Biggie, Craig Mack. They not here to tell their story, bro. And now you got everybody telling his story.
Yeah, and I know 50, he did a recent interview with US Weekly saying that the reason why rappers are quiet about, you know, Diddy's situation is because they've been to his parties and they don't know what got caught on tape.
Bruh, those people who was caught at Diddy's party did not know that he had 250 tape recorders in that house. That's a big house. But he had 250 tape recorders in that house that they took, that the feds found. So now with them finding all that and you being at a Diddy party, you know you may have done something that was caught on one of those tapes. You just better pray to God that they don't recognize you. Those people who know that they did something, no, they're not going to speak out. They're not going to say nothing. What part of the game is that? They are not going to come forward and tell on themselves. Nah, not at all. Ice Cube, he said it himself, bro. He said that Diddy's been targeted because of what he said about those folks and those people. Now, the people who was on those tapes may feel like Diddy might be targeting them. Because if he's asked about who is this, who is that, and he's under oath with the federal government, he got to tell them. He's not going to plead the fifth.
Yeah, I know that got to be a terrible feeling, man. You know you did something wrong at Diddy party, and you hoping and praying that it's not caught on tape.
But they don't think they did nothing wrong. That's their lifestyle. That's their lifestyle, bruh. I ask guys all the time, if two men lay down, how many homos get up? What you mean? I mean what I mean. It's what it is.
The instant the audio surfaced, the industry snapped into damage control mode, with public confidence replaced by private calls, tense meetings, and rapid recalculations behind closed doors. Ross was set to brush it aside initially, treating it like routine provocation. But once he heard it directly, that calm reportedly dissolved into sharp awareness as the real implications became impossible to ignore. Those close to the situation described the move as intentional and long orchestrated, raising uncomfortable questions about what other pieces may still be unrevealed and who truly holds leverage going forward. When a move is executed with that level of accuracy and restraint, it forces everyone to think twice, reassessing alliances, reading between the lines, and preparing for what comes next. Because in a game driven by perception, timing, and silence, the opening reveal is almost never the final move, and its consequences ripple far beyond the moment it lands.
We also showed you here, Netflix so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece. Today's teaser confirms that Netflix relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release, a statement from a PR rep told The Hollywood Reporter on Monday. As Netflix, here I have CEO Ted Sarandos knows, Mr. Combs has been amassing footage since he was 19 to tell his own story. This is interesting, right? Because as Netflix knows, so did they like have a deal with him to do his own doc, and then they sort of gave up on that, and Netflix is like, all right, take us to court. Kind of fascinating how that reveals. As CEO Ted Sarandos knows, he's been amassing footage since he was 19 to tell his own story in his own way. It is fundamentally unfair and illegal. That's the thing I'm more interested about, for Netflix to misappropriate that work. Netflix is plainly, let me get you this, because plainly desperate to sensationalize every minute of Mr. Combs' life without regard for truth in order to capitalize on a never-ending media frenzy. If Netflix cared about truth or Mr. Combs' legal rights, it would not be ripping private footage out of context, including conversations with his lawyers that were never intended for public viewing. No rights in that material were ever transferred to Netflix or any third party, the statement continues. It is equally staggering that Netflix handed creative control to Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, a longtime adversary with a personal vendetta who has spent too much time slandering Mr. Combs. Beyond the legal issues, this is a personal breach of trust. Mr. Combs had long respected Ted Sarandos and admired his legacy. Uh-oh, Netflix, you're getting called out by Diddy. What are you going to do? He has admired the legacy of Sarandos' late father-in-law, Clarence Avant. For Netflix to give his life story to someone who has publicly attacked him for decades feels like an unnecessary and deeply personal affront. At minimum, he expected fairness from people he respected. Well, I think the women you dated expected that too, and you didn't really give any of them that, did you? So I'm not going to be worried about any of that respect. But I will say, how did they get this footage? Well, the director, both Stapleton and Jackson were tight-lipped about how the pre-arrest footage was acquired, with the rapper asking, why would you ask us to reveal our sources? The footage was obtained completely legally, Stapleton told. However, in another statement, the footage was another statement from Engelmayer asserted that the footage was never authorized for release. It includes private moments, pre-indictment material from an unfinished project, and conversations involving legal strategy, according to the rep. So that's what things is interesting, right? Did Netflix have a deal? Who had this deal? Who had this footage? Who gave this footage away? That to me is the big question mark, because someone's making money off of this. Crazy. Clearly it's not Combs, which honestly I'm kind of okay with, but legally I'm kind of sure.
Years of deliberate separation collapsed the moment a recording emerged, suggesting previously unseen connections between Ross and Diddy that ran far deeper than expected, forcing the industry to reassess familiar stories and reopen unanswered questions about Ross's early trajectory and real position within the power structure. For critics, it fueled renewed skepticism and sharp analysis. For supporters, it disrupted long-held confidence and replaced certainty with lingering doubt. The situation underscored a hard, inescapable reality. Credibility only holds when private conduct aligns with public image, and once that alignment breaks, even years of carefully built influence can be put on trial, leaving reputation and legacy exposed under relentless public examination.
The story grew as if Ja was in there and him and Diddy was doing, something. And like I said that they was doing something. I don't know what the F they were doing, bruh. The only reason I know was some freaky things going up in there that Ja really didn't even understand, because he said, yo, you ain't want to be up in there because there's a whole lot of freaky shit going on. So I was like, I wouldn't have known nothing. I wouldn't even cared. And I don't care today. But you know how the internet is. They cut and paste what they want to paste, and they put what they want to put to make it seem like I was saying this dude and Puff was in there, alone, and they wasn't. You understand? And that was them. They did their thing, up in there with the honeys in there. I guess. I can only guess. So, listen, bro. I've said this 1,000 times. It was Sarah Chapman and her girlfriend. Now, Sarah Chapman, if people don't know who she is, now she's one of Puff baby mamas. But prior to her being one of Puff baby mama, this is the same girl that was dating Puff best friend, Corey Jacobs, and she was dating Tupac. You understand? So now she, like I told you before, she was the one that Puff betted in the office. He said, yo, I bet you I could get her from Gary Payton. You understand? And I didn't know she dated Gary Payton, but this is what Puff is saying. And it was a $500 bet that he said he'd get it in 2 weeks. We was out in Chicago, me, him, and Sarah. We was at some kind of function that Puff had to do a in-store and a walkthrough. You know what I'm saying? At one of his friends' parties. So, she was out there with her. Next thing you know, he got her like he said he would. You know what I'm saying? That incident with him and Ja, I feel bad, kind of, sort of, really, because everybody's trying to make it seem like, Ja was some kind of weirdo, but it is what it is, bro. I just told you what I seen. Both of them ran out the room butt ass naked, grabbing towels, you know what I'm saying, with them chicks in there, you know what I'm saying? So whatever they did, that was on them. But that's the kind of games Puff play in order to get people to do what he want him to do. You understand? He got them, he wanted Ja to go at Jay-Z, so he got these chicks to go at Ja. You understand what I'm saying? Whether he did it or fell into it, I don't know. Because I don't know him and Jay-Z beef or why they was beefing in the first place or whatever the situation was. People who are close to either one of them may know more than I do on that. But I knew Puff was working to get Ja to go at Jay, and that was happening on that particular day.
Ross's response turned measured caution into visible instability, as calculated restraint gave way to late-night social media posts, hurried statements, and constantly shifting explanations that revealed frustration more than control. Advisors scrambled to contain the situation, but every effort at clarification only intensified scrutiny, fueling speculation and creating a self-perpetuating cycle of doubt. In moments like these, perception outweighs reality. Every misstep is amplified, cracks in credibility are instantly magnified, and even small errors are read as signs of deeper turmoil, leaving observers questioning not just choices, but the capacity to navigate the storm itself.
Baby oil at Diddy house might be laced. What makes you say that?
Well, what I said is that, isn't it weird that the government was so interested in Diddy's baby oil that they took 1,000 bottles away from his house? If the government took 1,000 bottles of baby oil and somebody had things what appeared to be baby oil, and then you have to listen to the prosecutor. He said that they seized 1,000 bottles what allegedly to be baby oil. allegedly to be baby oil. So that's telling people that it wasn't baby oil. And people think that that was baby oil, they out their mind. I don't believe it was baby oil. Yo, bro, when they went up in there, they knew what they was gonna find. They knew what was ever in that baby oil or that those bottles that appeared to be baby oil, they knew about that at first. You gotta realize 9 times out of 10, that individual that got caught at the airport, that was supposed to be their carrier, told them what they was doing and what they had. I wouldn't put him past that he told them everything. So when they went up in there, they knew they had to take whatever was out there, and that thing that appeared to be baby oil, they took that. They got to test every last one of them. Let's see how much, let's see how many of those come back to be baby oil. Bro, listen to me. Costco don't sell that much baby oil. Where you know sell that much baby oil?
Yeah, I don't know any store that sell that much baby oil. I know Costco, they came out and said that they don't even sell baby oil.
My sentiments exactly.
But you personally, right, what do you believe was in the baby oil?
If you ever seen a massage parlor being raided and they walking out the people, do they take the massage oil with them when they go? No, they just walk out the people who are being arrested. If you ever seen a person getting arrested and the people being arrested in those brothel houses, do they take out the stuff in the brothel houses? No, they don't. They take the individuals who are being arrested out the brothel houses. For them to take 1,000 bottles of baby oil, it's like that they did not leave one. They left people there, but they ain't leave not one bottle. Nobody needed no baby oil. So my whole thing about it is that there was something in that other than baby oil. That's why they took all the bottles. And 9 times out of 10, if I would give it a wild guess, it was, and like some of the people told me, it was probably that GHB.
What's that?
I think it's gamma hydrox. I looked it up, bro. Let me see. See if I can find it. I know this is just showing everything like that, but oh no. Let me. Yo, somebody tap dance or sing or do something. You know what I'm saying? While I'm doing this. Oh, here it go right here. It's gamma hydroxy butyric. What is its effect on the body? It's a euphoria, drowsiness, decreased anxiety, and memory impairment. It works on the nervous system and gives you this feeling of euphoria. So they take that and rubbed it on her, and you forget who you are, what you're doing. It can also give you memory loss, drowsiness, and that's under the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration.gov.
Efforts to suppress the recordings only amplified their reach, as copyright claims, legal warnings, and behind-the-scenes negotiations repeatedly failed to slow their spread, exposing just how tenuous control had become. Backup accounts erupted across platforms, reactions intensified, and even longtime allies quietly pulled back, sensing the instability and potential fallout. What started as a calculated attempt to manage the narrative quickly spun into an unstoppable public escalation, leaving no room for discretion. Once credibility cracks, the illusion of control vanishes, revealing vulnerabilities and forcing everyone involved to face the harsh truth: influence can collapse faster than it's built, And every action under the digital spotlight carries consequences that ripple far beyond the first breach.
Finally, someone asked the question.
So
I'm listening so carefully.
Here it is. Here's the answer. This is what we've been waiting for.
The issue here, after reading a Post article, it seems that if the filming was not, the person was not aware that they were being filmed. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, that comes into a secondary issue of if this person was not aware, which is again why the first goal was not to take it to the open market. But then that's an issue for the purchaser who ends up purchasing the video. That's their legal problem to then overcome, not necessarily the seller's problem.
No, it is the seller's problem. What is she talking about? That's terrible. I had not heard that part of this interview. I had not. That is not that is not a seller's problem. That's everybody's problem. Okay, if you are recorded, you are not aware. Somebody has a tape, and you're saying somebody's telling you, "I want to sell this tape." And by the way, I want to quote unquote help you because God believes in helping yourself to help other people. Let's make some money on this video. Like, there's so many things wrong with this. I can't even wrap my brain around it. There's so many things. I don't see protection. Somebody tell me they see protection here. I don't see it. Like,
we're live. I'm trying to find there is a clip. I assure you, there's a clip where she mentions she's worried because she doesn't know if the person on the tape is of age. She said that in a previous interview. She's now done so many interviews, it's hard to track down while we're live. But you're gonna have to trust me on that. It's out there. She said it. Now, she didn't confirm it. She said she was unsure. So all of this said, now I'm having trouble with this lawyer because she didn't really answer the question, did she? Like, she's trying to broker a deal, making it very clear the best way to do this before the bidding war starts is to buy it themselves. Meanwhile, it's illegal to have the tape. So how on earth is this? Again, I have to ask this one more time. Isn't this illegal to sell such a tape and have a bidding war? What network would buy such a tape knowing that it's not legal to show?
It's 100% from what I see. Okay, my legal opinion on this is it's 100% illegal to sell this tape. You cannot. How can you? You got to have the consent of everyone that's on the tape, and particularly, look, age of consent. And you know, under these facts where you're learning about people getting roofied and this, you know, roofie lube and all this stuff, like, there's reason to believe that the people in this video absolutely, again, I'm assuming it's two people in the video and a third person recording, okay? There's so many troubling facts on this, Andy, that just say that you need to run from this, not promote it on TV.
As the chaos finally began to fade, true loyalty surfaced with quiet precision, revealed not through proclamations, but through subtle silences, fleeting interactions, and the smallest digital cues that carried immense significance. Every cryptic post, every calculated like or comment acted as a signal within a complex web, reshaping alliances almost instantly, while former collaborators slipped into the background, leaving only faint traces of their past presence. Support for Ross didn't crumble in noise or confrontation. It eroded through measured absence, a near imperceptible withdrawal that spoke louder than any statement ever could. In these moments, the industry moves fast and with purpose. Responses are immediate, deliberate, and razor sharp. A choreography of influence and omission that determines reputations, shifts power, and signals who truly stands where, leaving the unprepared scrambling to interpret the silent, unforgiving code of loyalty and betrayal.